today we have a 2014 Porsche Boxster and the convertible top is broken. It does not go up or down anymore. We've already pulled codes out of it. It says that there's a fault in the latch. That is up here on the top area right here. It's the thing that grabs this. To access the latch, which is down here on the top, we have to emergency deploy the top. You have to remove this carpet. So this carpeting comes out. There's a nice little spot you can stick your fingers in right here and just pull the carpet. Pull the carpet like this. Just be careful with the plastic. The speaker grills come out, that's no big deal. There's a 13mm bolt right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin the 13mm bolt and we're gonna tighten it. And you'll hear it kind of pop when it happens. And that will disengage the convertible top motor. Little pop, perfect. Then you want to tighten it down just a little bit. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're going to reach down right through here, do the same thing on the passenger side. The speaker grill will come out. Just be nice and gentle with it. And here's our bolt. We're going to tighten this bolt. Heard it pop. Okay. Now the convertible top is loose. So now we're just going to pull this guy up like this. And that is how you bring the top up. So you can bring this all the way down to here. And then you take a screwdriver after you remove this cover. So they say take a 13mm wrench, the same one that you just used, and you pop this guy down like this. Just be careful with it, that's all. And let's see. And a little pull, perfect. That's done. And then what we're gonna wanna do is right here, you take a screwdriver and you open this latch up. You open it, you close the top, and then you spin it down and it pulls this little finger back up into this slot right here. And then you can safely drive home until you get it fixed. But we are gonna go further right now and we're gonna go explore the inside of this convertible top latch motor. We're gonna take the T40 socket, and we're gonna remove the bolts that hold down the convertible top latch. There are 4 bolts. Before we remove that, we are going to remove this electrical connector. And there might be one more electrical connector here. Here's our other electrical connector right here. Just this little guy. Okay, so what's happened is this convertible, see this switch right here? This is a micro switch, and this tells the computer when to stop moving this arm. But you can see it's bent out of the way. So what caused it to bend, I'm not exactly sure. But we need to rebend it back down that way. So now see what's happened is now it's engaged, and when it flips around the other way, it's going to be okay now. That felt a little weak, and the only thing holding that micro switch is the soldered on connections and the electrical wire that runs current through here, that runs a voltage. Doesn't look like anything got bent too far up. It just like rode up the side here, and when it did that, it stopped allowing the top to operate. That's pretty much it. So that little wire might be getting weak. We might be able to super glue this black micro switch down to the green board. So it's sending a signal down to the computer as far as the position of this arm depending on what these two switches are saying, and then it tells this motor to either operate or not operate. So that's how the whole thing works, right? So this whole component here. I don't know how much this thing costs, but I mean, just by bending this little piece down, we could save people a lot of money. To test it at this point, I'm just going to put it back up into position and turn the key on and see if I can't get this top to work. So at this point, we need to get this latch set right. So there's a forward, backward adjustment. I just hand tightened them, but just want to make it so we can wiggle it back and forth like that. Okay, so now we're going to test it. We're going to re-engage the rear motors down here. And the way we do that is now we loosen the bolt to about where it was before. So take notice where the bolt was before. And mine was just so the 13 couldn't turn anymore. That's where it was right there. Passenger side, do the same thing. Okay, those motors are re-engaged now. So now, if I turn the car on, is the top gonna work? Okay, we're gonna close it and see what happens. Okay, wait, we're gonna reopen it. Okay, perfect. Now let's see if we can close the top. Top is closing. Okay. Okay, see what just happened right there? On the way down, the hook came out. Okay, we're gonna continue on the down. And then, okay, it started to pull this guy in now. We just wanna make sure that we have our adjustment correct. Okay, so that's tight right there. I wanna make sure that when I tighten this, everything still looks good here. And there's no air gap on the top. Okay, so if I open it, okay, there's open. Now if I close it, that's closed. We just want to make sure that the upper bow, where it seals to the body, is good. Is this line good? We don't want any air gaps in there. That looks pretty good. It's tight, yes. So this video kind of covers a couple things. One is a broken top. Two is how to deploy the emergency top. So it's gonna be, you're gonna pull that carpeting up behind the rear seats. You're gonna find that 13mm bolt head on the convertible top motor. You're gonna tighten it to disengage the motor, one on each side. Just tighten them all the way down. They do not have to be tight. You just wanna bottom the bolt out. From there, you're gonna pop that cover off that I showed you with a 13mm wrench. Then you're gonna take a screwdriver and you're gonna spin the inside winding of the motor. Don't take any of those latch bolts out. You don't need to do that for this operation. When you're done and you wanna drive off, you do not need to do anything with those bolts again. Just leave the bolts tight as you're driving. They only need to be loosened back up when the top is going to be repaired. So you only loosen them up when the top gets fixed. During the process of you driving home, you don't need to loosen those bolts back up. So just leave them tight. Hook the front latch with the screwdriver and winding the motor, and that's it. You could drive this car from San Diego to New York City in that position. It will kind of bug you. Every couple minutes it'll say the top's not closed, but at least you can make it. There it is, the Porsche Boxter convertible top repair.